All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down the Monday Night Showdown here between the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys. We got a battle for Texas, sort of. Going to be touching on my favorite plays and lineup process, and then showing you guys what the 9-to-5 lineup builder is spitting out to us as the optimal build as well. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And so, guys, the game total of this game is going to be 42 points in favor of the Houston Texans winning by 7 points. So just keep that in mind when you're building your lineups, that it probably will be more of a run-heavy script. And so with that, I do think we are probably looking at a heavy workload for Joe Mixon. I do think we want to be going out of our ways to target him. Now, what we're going to see on this slate is that we have a ton of really good value, logical value, that's just clearly too cheap. And so obviously, we want to play Joe Mixon in the captain spot if possible, but because we're probably going to be able to fit all the studs into our builds for this slate, that might not be our best option. So I do like Joe Mixon a bunch. Definitely going to be playing him in the flex. And so the biggest piece of news here for the Texans is that they are getting Nico Collins back. I haven't seen any news being reported that he is going to be getting a limited workload in this game. And so if he's going to be fully good to go in this game, I do think he is someone that we probably want to be looking at. Obviously, he was on a really, really good stretch there before he got injured. And so I do think that he's going to be kind of a simple click as well. I do like Tank Dell. I don't think his workload's going to go away. I do see him more as like a GPP only type play, where if you are playing him, you're trying to really just capture that upside with him as a play. And so if he's not going off, I don't think that's going to be beneficial to really have him in the flex spot. I'd rather just play him in the captain spot. CJ Stroud has been someone that has been somewhat struggling thus far this season, especially in games without Nico Collins. I do think he's going to be someone we want to look at for this slate. Now, do I want to prioritize him over Joe Mixon or over Nico Collins? Probably not, but like I said, we will be able to fit him into our builds most likely because of the value that we have. And he does get a great matchup there going against that Dallas Cowboys defense that has been struggling. So from there, what other Texans players do we want to be on? Well, I do think being on their kicker is going to be somewhat crucial, and I do see a path. I mean, look, he's been going off. I do see a path where we could actually get away with playing him in the captain spot. Again, just trying to alleviate the remaining salary that we have left over so that we can jam in some of the other studs. And he's been going off. And so now that probably doesn't correlate that well with CJ Stroud, having a good game. So I would say if you're not playing CJ Stroud, Fairbairn is going to be someone you probably would or should be swapping him in for other players. So where are we getting our value? It's probably with Xavier Hutchinson, who I do think will be the receiver number 2 in this offense receiver number 3 in this offense now with Nico Collins back. He had kind of been the receiver number 2, although John Mechie had been someone that they obviously like and had kind of a pretty good game there against Detroit as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get more work, but it has seemed like Hutchinson has been more of the favorable option for them. And so I'm more gearing up towards getting to him. That being said, it wouldn't be surprising to see Robert Woods get some work as well. These are all fine options. These are all kind of my typical shoulder shrug plays. If I end up on them, I'm not rebuilding at all. I'm kind of content. And that's kind of the end of that lineup then. Now, Dalton Schultz does get kind of a revenge game here, but the Cowboys have at least been somewhat decent at stopping opposing tight ends, so I don't feel the need to get into that. Let's go ahead and jump into Dallas. So Dallas, obviously, CeeDee Lamb, he's going to be the player that we want to get to. He is currently questionable, but he is expected to play in this game. I'm not too worried about him not playing in this game, and he did get a healthy target share last week with Cooper Rush as the quarterback. Still got 6 receptions. The yards weren't really there for him. I do think he'll have a little bit of a better game here, and I do think we want to be getting to him. But I do want to talk about probably the easiest play on the slate. He should be probably the highest owned player on the slate. Jalen Tolbert, I'm really confused by this price. Honestly, he's a guy that's been playing 90% of the snaps. He's not exactly going off, but given how many snaps he's playing, given the consistent work that he has been getting, I mean, 5 targets, 6 targets, 3 targets, 5 targets, 10 targets, especially since Brandon Cooks has been out, he's kind of been the guy in that role for sure. I know Jake Ferguson's back as well, which is taking a little bit away from him as well, but this price is just simply too cheap. And so I am happy to even play him in the captain spot as well, because we are then allowed to fit in a bunch of other studs. Now, you do have the other kicker there, Brandon Aubrey, who has been honestly kicking the football pretty well thus far this season. The issue Dak's not there, so how much work will he truly get then? Tough to say, right? That becomes more of a guessing game. Now, I do want to call it something that is definitely interesting. Their third down back has been kind of the fullback / tight end in Hunter Lumpke. He's been playing a decent amount of usage as well. And so with him probably being out, I do wonder if that's actually going to lead to Rico Dowdle actually being the third down back. Maybe it'll be Zeke instead. But we need Mike McCarthy's words to be true in regards to Rico. He's been talking him up a bunch thus far this season. He's saying that he needs to be the lead back. We just need that to be true. I do think he's a great play if that ends up being the case. And I do think he would be used in the passing game a decent amount to give us a nice 4-point PPR floor, which would be great in this game. And I do think he's a great play. The issue is that we need Mike McCarthy to not be lying to us here, which he has done in basically every single game except for the game that Zeke sat, because he has been pretty vocal about wanting to make Rico the lead back or the three down back. Again, with Lumpke being out, he's probably going to have to. His hand's going to be forced a little bit. Cooper Rush is at a cheap price, honestly, for a quarterback. If he even gives us 10 points at this price, that's a little bit too cheap, but I do think the kickers probably are going to give that to us as well. Jake Ferguson at a kind of a strange price. I know the matchup's kind of difficult, but targets will be there. He should be a safe 6 points or so. And so with that, guys, let's go ahead and get into my lineup for the slate, and then we'll see what the 9-5 lineup builder is spitting out to us. And so this is something that I don't typically like to do, but I do think this gives us a pretty high floor. Playing both the kickers, we're getting CeeDee Lamb, we're getting Nico, we're getting Joe Mixon, who should be some of the top scorers on the slate. And then we're getting a pretty high floor in Jalen Tolbert. Obviously just hoping that he scores a touchdown in this game to really pay off that flex play. Now let's go ahead and see what the 9-5 lineup builder is telling us is the best route to go. All right, so as always, we need to give it 2 data points to go off of, so I'm just going to round up for a couple of these guys here. CeeDee Lamb, round up. Joe Mixon, round up, whatever. I just want you guys to see kind of what the lineup builder is telling us is going to be the best route to go for this game, so you guys can make some decisions off of that. And so what it likes here is Texans DST in the captain spot. Now, I don't know if I really agree with that, and I don't agree with playing the Dallas Cowboys in that same build as well. And so for you guys that aren't familiar with this, I'm doing at most one of, and it'd be the Cowboys captain, Cowboys flex, and then Texans flex and Texans captain in my builds. I don't think we want to be double dipping. And so that's a rule I can create and just did. I think that's a better route to go. It is getting to Turpin as a flex option. I don't hate that. He probably will get a point. They do like to give him the football. I don't know if I exactly want to go there. I'm going with more of a fair and balanced approach. It does seem like the data likes going more of this kind of studs and dudsy type approach, getting to CJ Stroud as the quarterback play. Here's kind of a better build, one that I like a little bit better. Let's get into Robert Woods as the kind of Texans value play. Still getting into Texans defense. Loves Texans defense. Gets CJ Stroud, the captain, then Tolbert, then Joe Mixon, then Nico. So not terrible there as well. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Appreciate you guys being here. Good luck with your lineups for Monday Night Football. If you guys want access to the 9-5 cheat sheet or the 9-5 NFL DFS lineup builder, head on over to 9-5sports.com. Get access to that for just $10 a month. That's going to be all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.